Hey, by the way, before I end this, what is the takeaway from this clip? Simple. Don't let yourself boxed in, caged by other people, their labels, their roles they put on you. It simply limits you. And you, the guy who's watching, or the girl who's watching this, you are way much more valuable to this planet than a lot of other people would make you aware of.
If you cannot handle real work, reality talk, 80+ language, simply skip the video.
Vlog number 103, and at the moment I'm doing a very quick, I think this is 3 kilometers walk in the forest, for one simple reason. I'm totally physically destroyed from yesterday, and on top of that I drank a little bit more beer than expected. And the thing is, it's not some kind of excuse walk. It's simply, I'm not gonna do a run today. Of course I will do the calisthenics no matter what. That is a non-negotiable thing. But today, not a run. Just a quick, you know, this is 2.5 kilometers, and I just keep up the pace. So this is vlog number 103, and this is the thing, no matter what, you know, yesterday's beer drinking session was totally not planned but very enjoyable. Thank you for the nice time if you're watching this. And the thing is, like I always say, you have to suffer for the beautiful things in life. And if you watch my vlog for the first time, my vlogs are for people who like to live a life, be in shape, mentally pretty fresh, fresher than the average person, and really enjoy the nice things in life. But with this in mind, when you want to enjoy the so-called pleasures, also, you know, make sure you pay the price in quote-unquote so-called suffering. And you know what? That allows you to do another round of pleasuring yourself with your people that you care about. It sounds very kinky, by the way. I know, I heard it. But anyway, quickly introduction. Subscribe, follow, and maybe hit the notification bell. I know there's a lot of questions that I'm asking, but hey, come on, help me out over here. Anyway, just a little quick view. Enjoy the view. Whew. Okay, just enjoy the view. This is Vitisja Mountain, close to Kneževo. Anyway, I'm also drinking a lot of mineral waters. Now this one is not working. I already filled up my bottle. I didn't film it. Anyway, ooh. By the way, there's one, and as you watch my previous vlog, sometimes I have very creepy people following me, and today I met one who did some creepy things last year. But anyway, doesn't matter. For me, as long as they don't, you know, get violent, not that I'm scared, it's more that I can get in trouble because I'm defending myself. Anyway, vlog number 103, and I'm gonna finish this walk, and then let's get into some vlogging stuff and talk. Arrived. I'm always doing till the road, and then I'm going back, and this is simply a very nice walk. You know, I walk with a pretty high pace, above the average, and like always. Anyway, above the average people that walk over here. And like always, I'm not saying this to be better than anybody else, but if you want to do a little bit better in life, you have to do a little bit stuff. And in the meantime, while I'm doing this kind of high-paced walks, then I'm working on the phone. So, you know, I'm not walking over here in the nature. Yeah, sometimes I do, sometimes, but in general, I always keep on going because if you watch my previous vlog, you should know by now I do everything from the phone, everything. So I can sit over here and or on this trunk, you know, just to quote unquote work. I don't want to say that it's work anymore because I'm obsessed with it, and I want this also for you. You know, that you also live this kind of life of freedom. But I do understand there's a big gap, and that's why I start sharing everything for free. Not charging anything. I just want to build that relationship with you. That you say, hey Dylan, I start using this 1 minute training video, this 1 minute training set, you know, from 13 steps, gets you in shape, do it for 30 days, bam, over here, pops up, pop up over here, click, and then you go over there, you watch it, and you do it, you try it, only for 1 minute. You know what? If you would try it for 7 days in a row, that's 1 minute a day. Come on, people, help me out over here. And you know what? What are my intentions? Well, let's say you would start getting in shape. You would actually start implementing a couple of those strategies that I'm mentioning. And by the way, I'm already busy writing those strategies in so-called ebooks, which I will, and listen to this, don't get mad, I will put in my e-commerce store, but I won't sell them. You can download it for free, but you have to submit your email. That's the only thing that I'm asking, so I can keep in contact with you. As always, there are no hidden intentions from my side. And the thing is, along the way, when you get more advanced, you get a little bit more hungry, you start building those audiences, and you say, hey, Don, what do you think? Shall we work together? And at that point, you're bright and sharp between the ears. You already tried a lot of things, and you know, you just start implementing those strategies, and then we can discuss the processes and then optimize along the way. And that's where I come in with my experience, quote unquote expertise, and then we start working. Anyway, those are very clearly my intentions with you guys. You know, you physically better in shape, mentally better in shape, and then, you know, financially, and build that freedom. You know, you want that freedom the way I do now. Go wherever you want, no attachment. Like I said, also not on location, people. Yeah, it's a choice, of course. But the thing is, you know, everything is in abundance. You know, dating, everything is in abundance these days. But you have to start seeing it. And don't be shy. You know, people, and this is also something, I'm going to say this very quickly to you in the camera, because this is also something what I thought about this morning. People like to label stuff, and especially on the internet, people need to say the things that, oh, this and this. So for example, one label that I also really don't like, introvert, extrovert. Bullshit. You just didn't get used to it to speak with other people. Introvert, extrovert. That means so you can use that label. Yeah, but I cannot speak with those people because I'm introvert. Fuck off. You simply didn't start doing it. And I'm saying this from with the best intentions, because as you watch my previous vlogs, I never like those labels. I also, when people tell me, you know, some people I only drink beer with. Some people say, yeah, you drink everyday beer. Okay, I do. But you also see me getting up at 5:15. You see me working sometimes, many times to 1 or 2 o'clock midnight. I sleep 4 hours a day, try to help as many people as possible. No, you don't see that. So I'm also not getting offended by anything, because I know what my intentions are, what my purpose is here on this planet. You know, I want to help as many people to set, or let's say, not total freedom, because I understand there's a long learning curve, and of course adapting mind, physique, because physical you also have to, you know, like I say sometimes to other people, you know, if you have to walk the whole day with me and talk with all the people, and some people ask me how you remember all those conversations. Simply because I'm obsessed. There is no other thing like this. Anyway, what I want to say, don't get in this trap of so-called labels, introvert, extrovert. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And I'm knocking those things down, because that is so easy to use, because then you can form a group of people, of introverts. There's also something, you know, a group of introverts. How are you going to meet those introverts? Yeah, but I already knew them my whole life. And now we call ourselves introverts. That is all fun. That is all fun. So you already know that they're introverts. And life gives us a lot of signs. Eh? If you feel uncomfortable, you're not in the right space. You can try it multiple times. You can try multiple times, give people chances. But if you feel deep inside not happy, restless, you're ready for change. And really start listening to yourself. I ignored a lot of signs also with relationships in the past. You know, with one ex. See, we were in general. I stayed for a few years actually with this one, but the thing is, and then she had a little bit of bad mental time, and then you know me, I felt for also had my period. And then the thing is, and we were constantly off. We were never in the same time, let's say, quote unquote, happy. Yeah, we had very great times anyway with anybody in the first, and let's say sometimes years you can have great times. But you know, when things are off, you feel deep inside anxious, not good, depressed. It's time for a change. And no matter how you're gonna do it, location wise, anyway, mental, you're doing the exercises, you start trying new things, you're meeting new people, it's never gonna be easy. And this is the thing, if you start using those words, like for example the introvert extrovert thing, you know, then it's so easy to use that as an excuse. Yeah, but though I cannot change because I'm an introvert and I cannot meet other people and I don't have the finances to go to places. Well, figure it out. Simply figure it out. I'm not going to tell you you're an introvert, extrovert, or any kind of weird label like ACDC or, you know, all that kind of labels. No, no, no. Get rid of those, burn them out of your mind and start just embracing life. You know, we only live once, people. Really. Okay, there are religious people that think that we're coming back. Well, if we're coming back, then we're lucky. If not, better do it now. Anyway, I'm gonna drink some water. Let me show you that water place. Are always pretty unscripted, but as I mentioned in previous vlogs, that I'm trying to stay more or less more closer to one single topic. And while I was walking around, I thought, let's walk a little bit more and record a little bit, like a walkcast. Not a podcast, a walkcast. The thing is, when it's about labels, I always see. I was always really, let's say, against, not against, but the normalities, you know, because I'm gonna be very honest, our upbringing was pretty colorful and always colorful. Anyway, and I always was very quickly bored. But next to that, I never liked labels, any kind of labels. Student, you know, when I went to fucking school, you know, and at one point when it's about school, and it's not something against the whole system thing, because I'm not against anything besides being lazy and all that kind of stuff, but that's everybody their own choice. But when it's about labels, you're a student, you are an employee. I do believe that everybody is way much more than just a label. And I think labels also have such a negative load, because it's like you're putting people in boxes. So you are this and this, you are a worker, you are this and this. And like this, I do believe when you repeat it more than enough times, you are, let's say, a student. You're gonna be a student, and you start hanging around with students. There is nothing against it, but I do believe it really closes the doors of opportunities around you, because you're gonna start hanging around with them. You start labeling yourself as a student. People ask you, what do you do? I'm a student. What are you studying? History. So you're a history student, so you're knit down. And that sounds all very normal, the things that I'm saying, but I never liked to be put in a box. People put me in many different boxes because, yeah, you know, I was a wild animal. You could say it is pretty unpredictable, emotional, and a lot of other stuff that a human being should not be. But not to talk things very, and that I'm let's say, where I want to go with this, yeah, that I'm talking sad or bad about myself. No, that's what simply what I was, and that's why people labeled me as many things and never liked it. Was also very emotional, attached to the fact how people actually saw me. Now I really don't care. Do I take feedback, positive and or negative? Yes, I do. I'm listening, and I'm always trying to optimize any kind of. Whoa, it's very noisy over here. So yeah, when it's about labels, you know what I do believe, don't allow people to put you in boxes. And the thing is, some people might think, yeah, no, that sounds very extreme, because this is what I am. No, you're way much more than this. Actually, this is the point, what I want to say, that people, humans, and you are so much more than just this, introvert, extrovert, OCDC, employee, this and that. No, I think humans are so colorful, and there's so much stuff going on over here between their ears. There's a whole universe going on. So that's what I actually don't like about it, because there's so much stuff going on over here, thinking about stuff, maybe developing stuff. A lot of thinking maybe also stops you from doing, but then you can crawl back into your label. I do believe that a lot of people also use those labels, you know. I am an introvert because I can also not talk with people. I'm using this introvert thing because, you know, I mentioned this, I started talking about this. So, you know, don't allow any label, any kind of label that you can think about. To be very honest, when I think about my own examples, you know, when I own a store, nobody called me a store owner, or when I run a bar owner. And even when they did, no, I'm just in the entertainment thing. I make people fucking happy. And, you know, there's one thing, I'm not gonna talk too much about running a bar. One thing, when it's about running a bar, it's better to sit on the other side instead of, you know, on the inside serving the people, because yeah, it's better not. Where I was go with this, don't let yourself put into a box, because it limits your thinking. I do believe that people then can crawl back. If you hear many times, you are this, you are this, you are that, and that's the way it is. I do believe if you hear things over and over and over and over, this is what you are, and that's what you feel what you are. But somewhere you feel restless and maybe anxious, and maybe, hey, you know there's something wrong, but you don't know what is wrong. Maybe your relationship and or other things. But I do believe labels are part of the deal. It can be used as an excuse. It can be used as a box in, you know, box. You put in you're in this box, this is what you are. Like I said, no. People are unique. People are over here thinking. And if you watch me now, you understand that you're constantly thinking, but also at one point you crawl back into this role, this label that people gave you, because that is comfort. You know, comfort is good for nothing. You're only gonna do excess behavior, or you do things that totally are not productive. And also in the end, don't make yourself feel proud. You know, you want to feel good about yourself. You did this, you did it. So a very simple example, you know, the PlayStation thing, I used to play a lot. And at one point I also got rid of it because I'm so addicted. The thing is, and this is how I think now, I don't want that something like this is on my grave. He played this and this amount of hours in his fucking life on a PlayStation. This is the amount, that's why I'm also not watching TV anymore. Last year I watched 35 minutes of television. People totally bombarded me in the fitness groups on Facebook because they stepped a little bit, I stepped on their toes. That's another thing about those fitness people and those people who go to the gym. With all the respect, and you got those extremely nice, great looking guys who go to the gym, and girls. but there are people there incredibly sensitive, and I do believe this is the reason, because it's very comfortable. It's warm, it's cozy, you walk around a little bit with your headphones, you make pictures in the mirror. Instead, I run in the snow, in the heat. Anyway, this is not a comparison that I'm better. This is probably one of the reasons that they're very sensitive about the normalities that I mentioned, the one about the television. They went totally fucking nuts. They also burned me down about my physical appearance. And yes, the day before that I drank a lot, so I'm not in the best physical shape. But you know, people who are really doing something, they don't have time to speak negative. And negativity always comes from bottom feeders. Always. Negativity is always coming from bottom feeders. And the reason that I'm mentioning it, I got nothing against them, but when people speak ill and or, you know, try to burn down people, I don't see successful and grateful and disciplined people would never say something negative. Me, when I'm mentioning the red flags about some characteristics like lying, stealing, etc., and a lot of other more red flags that I mentioned before in my vlogs, I simply mention them for one single reason, so you can recognize them and don't make the same mistakes with people that I did in the past, because I made a lot of mistakes because I handled from emotion and not so much with rational thinking. Maybe he's not so dedicated, maybe he is in total different level of dedication. I always said good enough, mistake, and then in the end you get financially, maybe mentally heartbroken and all that kind of stuff. And that is the only reason why I mentioned all those red flags. It's not about me burning down people. No, those people can be sitting down with each other in a circle around the fireplace and talk about all the same topics that they do. But my vlogs are for people who want to do a little bit more than the normal 9-to-5 thing, be 46 plus like me, totally out of shape and complain and don't feel the drive or the thrill of living anymore. See, that's why I'm saying all those things. So let's move, and I want to do a long walk. I feel like walking because, like I said, I'm not in the running mood. Also, for one reason, I overtrain my legs a little bit, and especially with the forward lunges up the stairs, up forward lunges. Yeah, that I can feel it, but it doesn't matter. Still, now I'm gonna walk to one calisthenics place in Bojana, and I'm gonna take this route through Bojana neighborhood, close to Kneževo. Anyway, ciao for now. Hey, by the way, before I end this, what is the takeaway from this clip? Simple. Don't let yourself boxed in, caged by other people, their labels, their roles they put on you. It simply limits you, and maybe not even that you're very aware of it, but subconsciously, if you hear things more than enough times, then you are this person. And I always think people are way more than one single box, role, and or whatever. And I'm saying this with the best intentions, people, because you, the guy who's watching, or the girl who's watching this, you are way much more valuable to this planet than a lot of other people would make you aware of. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. Anyway, ciao for now.